Hey there, future saints. It's me again, your friendly neighborhood catechist. Welcome back to another episode of Catechism for Kids, where we explore the amazing stories from the Bible. And today we're diving into the thrilling tale of Daniel in the lion's den from Daniel chapter 6. But before we begin our story, let's take a moment to remember the very important message that we hear over and over again in the Bible. God loves us so much and wants us to know that we can always talk to Him through prayer. And no matter what we need help with or what's going on in our lives, God is there listening and ready to help us. Now let's meet our main character, Daniel. He was a brave man who never stopped praying to God even when it was dangerous. You see, Daniel was a Jew who had been taken to the capital city of Babylon. Back then, people were really into having kings, and King Darius was no exception. He ruled over a huge empire and considered himself pretty awesome. Now, this empire was a melting pot of different cultures, kind of like a giant party where everyone was invited. But being a leader of such a diverse group of people wasn't easy. So Darius decided to divide his empire into 120 provinces and put one of his trusted friends in charge of each one. And guess who got the plum assignment of overseeing all these officials? You got it, Daniel. Daniel was good at his job. People respected him because he was smart, honest, and fair. Plus, he had a reputation for receiving secret messages from God. But not everyone was happy with Daniel's success. Jealousy is like a green monster that makes us unhappy when we see other people doing well. And these jealous leaders found a way to make Daniel's life miserable. They went straight to King Darius and hatched a sneaky plan. They told the king, "Hey look, all these other gods are great, but your God, well, doesn't seem to care much about you." To make their point, they made up a story about Daniel refusing to worship a golden statue they built in honor of King Darius. He broke the law, they complained, hoping to get Daniel in trouble. King Darius was furious. He liked to think of himself as a big supporter of different religions. So hearing that someone wasn't worshiping him properly made him super mad. Without thinking things through, he made a law that anyone who prayed to any god or anyone at all for 30 days except for him would be thrown into a den of hungry lions. The leaders thought they had Daniel exactly where they wanted him and knew he wouldn't stop praying, so they were just waiting for him to break the law so they could get rid of him. Meanwhile, Daniel didn't even realize what was going on. Every night, he would get down on his knees facing Jerusalem and pray just like he always did. Little did he know that his prayers were getting him into big trouble. He didn't know about the new law, so he continued praying to God 3 times a day, just like he always had. Suddenly, the king's servants burst into Daniel's house. When they saw him on his knees praying, they knew exactly what to do. They dragged him away to the king, who was fuming. "You broke my law. I'm going to throw you into a den of lions," Daniel calmly replied. "My God sent an angel to protect me, and he will save me from the lions." As he was taken to the lion's den, the king felt a bit sorry for him. So he asked Daniel if he worshipped a God who could save him from lions. Daniel replied, "I worship the living God who can rescue me from you and your palace guards." Hearing this, the king was sad. He knew Daniel was a good person, but he also had to follow the law he had made. So he sealed the entrance to the lioness den with a stone slab and left Daniel to spend the night with the roaring lions. From outside, the king couldn't hear Daniel's voice. And as the hours passed, he started to worry. Had his friend been eaten by lions? Well, here's the thing. As the sun rose and the den was opened, everyone expected to see a pile of bones instead of Daniel. But guess what they saw? There was Daniel, totally unharmed, hanging out in the middle of the den with a bunch of sleepy lions. Daniel explained that an angel from God had closed the mouths of the lions so that nothing bad could happen to him. And then an angel appeared and spoke to the king. "Tell me, Daniel, was your God able to rescue you from the lions?" Of course, Daniel replied. And King Darius realized he had made a mistake. He praised God for protecting Daniel and ordered the jealous leaders to be thrown into the lioness den. Wow, what a crazy adventure. Do you think Daniel was brave? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Alright, kiddos, it's time to wrap up our story time. But before we go, let's think about the amazing lessons we learned today. First off, Daniel never gave up his faith, even when it was dangerous. Just like Daniel, we should always stay true to our faith, no matter what others say or do. Prayer is powerful. We saw how Daniel's prayers saved him from the lions. That shows us how important it is to talk to God and ask for help when we need it. And no matter how scared we are, God is always there listening and wanting to help us. God keeps us safe. Daniel trusted that God would protect him in the lion's den, and God did just that. We can trust God to keep us safe too, even when things look scary and unfair. All right, kiddos, it's time for the big finish. You've made it to the end of our Lion's Den adventure. And if you want even more roarsome Bible adventures, don't forget to click the subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride through the Bible. Until next time, keep being your awesome selves and never stop believing in the power of God in prayer. Signing out.